So James Gunn's Superman recently hit theaters, and I really liked it a lot. Going into it, I wasn't really expecting anything. When it comes to Gunn's past projects, I think they're decent at best. Nothing really too special, but still have cool things about them, with the exception being Guardians of the Galaxy because I loved everything about them. I still need to see Guardians 1, and I know, I was a little late to the MCU party, okay? Give me a break. Then, in regards to Superman, I kinda was never really into the character. I didn't think he was boring or anything, but I also didn't think he was cool either. I did want to like him. Like, I thought he was cool in Justice League Unlimited and even in the Injustice games. But everything else kind of feels like a nothing burger to me. Until this movie came out. I always wanted a DC universe to work like the MCU because that would mean even more things to look forward to. And it was never the case with the Snyderverse. But I feel like we can finally get that because this movie is the perfect launch to a new universe. Make no mistake, this movie is not perfect. I do have a couple issues with it. But with that said, let's get into why I like this movie. The pacing in the beginning was really fast, and throughout the movie there's tons of things going on like a kaiju fight, dimensional rifts, separate pocket universes, super dog throws around bald guy. There's certainly a lot going on. But I never once was lost as to what was happening. Despite the lightning quick pacing, it never felt overbearing and it never lost me, because every objective was really simple. Like Superman has to escape the pocket dimension. Cool. Superman has to get the dog back. Easy. Lois and the journalists have to dig deeper into Lex Luthor. Got it. Lex has to catch Superman in a bad light. How does he do it? Well, just simply watch. It really makes for an easy movie-going experience, which I think is what Superman should be. At least at this point in the DCU. The downside to this fast pacing though is that with so much going on, we never got to see Superman have the fight in Baravia, which in the movie is something that was very controversial for him to get involved in, and I wanted to see what went down. I love that this movie skipped origins of multiple things, not just Superman's origin. Like, the movie already had him and Lois Lane established in a 3-month relationship. They also already established Lex Luthor being around and studying Superman for a long time, to the point where he would scrounge around spots where Superman fought so he could take his hair and clone him. It's so ridiculous, but it felt just right for this movie, so I thought it was great. And speaking of Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult put on a great performance by being the right amount of crazy and smart. You can feel the hatred he has for Superman while still being charismatic enough to do media appearances. The goofy but still semi-serious tone shine through with him because in one scene, you see him be an offensive coordinator, and in another, you see him shoot an innocent guy in the head. He's menacing enough to keep the moments serious when they need to be. As for Lois Lane, I thought she was great too. She really came off as a super competent, super smart journalist who always knew what to do and always knew which questions to ask and when. It was cool to see how she was almost too competent at being a journalist, to the point where her interview with Superman gets heated because their relationship leaked into it a little. But Lois kept it totally professional, which caught Superman off guard. And even after that heated exchange, we see how good their chemistry is. Like when Superman was feeling down about not being able to navigate around Lex Luthor when trying to get the dog back. And Lois also admitted before her that she's bad at relationships. They talk about their vulnerabilities and you can tell they're really trying for each other. And that's one thing I like about David Cornsweet's Superman, is that he conveys the right amount of vulnerability when he gets into a heated exchange with Lois and yells at Luthor when trying to get Krypto back. Also, he's just the right amount of charismatic, never over the top with the comedy, never overly quippy, and just the right amount of confidence to where he conveys the perfect Superman. But like I said before, this movie isn't perfect, because Superman's arc wasn't really anything special, honestly. I mean, I did like when his parents said that he was supposed to rule Earth. He sat back and reflected on the fact that he isn't who he thought he was supposed to be. He thought his parents wanted him to be a good dude and make the world a better place. And when he finds out that that isn't true, he feels conflicted, which leads to the heartwarming moment with his adoptive dad saying that his choices are what make him who he is. But like, I don't really fully buy that the message Superman's Kryptonian's parents sent was real. It feels like it could have been so easily altered by Lex, and for the movie to just say that experts reviewed it and confirmed it was real, I just don't feel like that's enough because they never go into detail as to how it's real. I like the direction of having Superman's parents possibly be not so good people. I thought that was cool, but it's not believable enough for me. And also when Superman's dad dropped the line about his choices are what make him who he is, I played that line from Batman Begins in my head.
It's not who I am underneath. what I do that defines me.
We kinda already seen this type of story before, but at the same time, like, Superman doesn't need to be a crazy complicated character with 40 different layers to him with a dark tone. Honestly, he's just a regular human who's fast and strong and can fly. I don't think there's a need to make him any deeper than that. Instead, he should be in stories that are simple and surrounded by other heroes who he can bounce off of. Which is why James Gunn adding other heroes or special humans was a great decision, because they add more depth when Superman's story needs it. And the others did shine. Mr. Terrific kinda stole the show in some parts, and when I first saw him, I thought, this guy looks dumb as hell, probably is an annoying cookie cutter weirdo, but no, I was very wrong. He was really awesome and turned out to be my favorite of the supporting heroes. He was funny, only really did stuff so he can put himself into a position where he was the least annoyed, and his fight scene at the beach was the coolest scene in the movie. Gunn really knows how to make little known characters great. I mean, we saw that with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad, and it continues here with Mr. Terrific, a different Green Lantern, and even Hawkgirl. I just wish Hawkgirl had a little more to do, but her dropping the old guy to his death was pretty cool. And the way Gunn included other heroes made me think that maybe the DCU could do something different and actually get rid of post-credit scenes entirely. Because I thought the cameos with Supergirl and Peacemaker was a good enough way to set them up or at least hype people up for their upcoming projects. This would challenge other directors of DCU movies to be creative to do just that, because I just don't want to see post-credit scenes that don't really do anything, which is what this movie did. If anything, the scene with Supergirl could have been the post-credit scene. Or they can keep doing the good old post-credit scene where it sets up a future project. But at the very least do what Thunderbolts did and make it lead directly to the next movie. Do not set up a movie that may or may not happen or is a few years out. I hate those types of post-credit scenes when the MCU does them because they end up being for nothing. Some of the things I liked about this movie though are Jimmy Olsen being a dude who is always out to accomplish something but does it in a goofy way.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Did you print that bank statement?
I'm gonna get to it. She it's friendly when she does this. She doesn't mean her tone.
Jimmy, shut up.
Got it.
Crypto wasn't just there to be cute and lovable, he created a bit of chaos with his rowdiness, which actually became useful to the narrative later on. I like the use of music, not just for action scenes, but also to add that little extra depth to Superman by showing us that he's a fan of punk rock bands. And the action was really fun and creative, like with Mr. Terrific at the beach, or when the Justice Gang fought the kaiju. You can hear and feel the mega punches from Superman that he throws. And the camera was up close in the action a lot. It wasn't just sit and watch. There were plenty of times where we kind of flew with Superman when he tries to pick up speed. So, this movie was great. It's the start that the new DCU needed. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. Instead, it's a more creative, almost sci-fi at times, fun type of movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. In the past, I always thought Superman was okay at best, but I consider myself a fan now. Superman gets an 8 out of 10.